On any given Friday night in the fall, two realities collide. The usual and the unusual, the expected and the unexpected, the ordinary and the extraordinary. If you're not careful, you'll miss it, but I can promise you it's there. Make no mistake, hidden amongst the regular rhythm of a crisp fall night, something magical happens on a Friday.
I am a fighter. I am a fighter. I am a fighter. I am a fighter.
A community might be defined as a geographic area or a particular place laced together by its inhabitants, but we all know a community is much more than that. A community isn't just a group of people living nearby one another, but rather a mosaic image, a gathering of people with all different viewpoints, backgrounds, ethnicities, beliefs, lifestyles, and values, who unite under some common interest or goal. And on a Friday night, you'll witness a community join together to support a team of kids that have united around a football field. Within that community, two worlds collide. They are each defined by many things, but on the surface, you can designate the two groups based on where they sit in the stadium. On any given Friday night, you'll find a group of adults take most of the space in a stadium. But in the bottom corner of that stadium, you'll find a rowdy, raucous, rambunctious section of high school students cheering on their community, their school, their team. This student section itself is a conglomerate of people. There are different cliques, different ethnicities, different value systems, different hierarchies. But on a Friday night, all these groups join together as one. This student section can be described as messy, loud, energetic, crude, wild, exciting. It's filled with hope and joy of victory and it often suffers together in loss. But below the surface of what you can see, each kid in that student section comes with their own questions, their own desires, their own thoughts. And those thoughts share a universality that rings true in all of us. Every kid in that student section might phrase it differently, but if you were to get to the core of who they are, they'd want to know, how did I get here? Why am I here? How do I decide right from wrong? Where am I going? Does it matter? Do I matter? Do I belong? And in that chaos, in that mess, in the middle of those questions, enters a Young Life leader. In Young Life, we have great programs and events, but that's not what makes Young Life great. In Young Life, we have great camps, but that's not what makes Young Life great. In Young Life, we believe going where kids are, because that's what Jesus did. He came to us. God created things out of chaos and into order. He made it all good. Along the way, we have taken what was good and made it corrupt and broken. But the promise of the gospel is that in the middle of that chaos, God enters to redeem, restore, and recreate back into the way it was always meant to be. That's what a Young Life leader believes. That's what a Young Life leader attempts to be a part of in a small yet significant way. And that's what makes Young Life great. Like Jesus and the countless interactions he has with people on earth, a Young Life leader makes peace becoming comfortable and being uncomfortable for the sake of others. Like Jesus, we go not to the healthy who don't need a doctor, but to the sick. Like Jesus, we go where we don't belong to tell people about a message none of us deserve, but have been freely given. It is the most costly yet free gift we could be given. And yet we can't help but share it. With that mission, with that purpose, in walks a Young Life leader. Into the student section, into the lunchroom, into an orchestra concert, into an art show, into a coffee shop, into a restaurant, into a parking lot, into a school. They enter into a place the world has told them they've graduated from and should leave, and they go back to tell those who are there of the joy they have found. A joy not found in circumstances, but rather found in a person. a joy found in Christ alone. Do you see it? Hidden amongst the ordinary is indeed the extraordinary. A young life leader going where kids are in order to earn the right to be heard, to share the gospel. So on the next Friday night football game, look over to the corner of the stadium. If you look carefully, you'll see someone who looks different from the rest. We hope you'll see more than just an adult volunteer managing a crowd. We hope you'll see light shining in darkness. Because as long as kids in our city mull around at ball games looking for love in all the wrong places, as long as they desperately seek an identity based on the opinions of friends and reputation, as long as high schoolers limp through the stands broken with family strife, enslaved by drugs, alcohol, and sex, we want to be found there, not in the adult section where it's comfortable and controlled, but where passions, vulgar and profane, blurt out obscenity, where arrogant and reckless facades hide behind wounded hearts with insecurity and fear. We want to be found right in the middle of those kids, where God has positioned us to shine forth His grace, His hope, His love, and His truth. That's where you can find us. We'll see you there this week.